In today's video, we delve into a pressing question. Is the war on fossil fuels wreaking economic havoc at a pace that surpasses the looming threats of climate change? As we examine the intricate web of rising energy costs, job losses in traditional fossil fuel sectors, and supply chain vulnerabilities, we'll uncover how these factors contribute to a growing sense of energy insecurity. Join us as we explore the potential impacts on manufacturing, the burdens of carbon pricing, and the risks of over-reliance on untested technologies in our transition towards a more sustainable future. Let's unpack whether our efforts to combat climate change are, paradoxically, creating new economic challenges. 1. Rising energy costs. As governments impose stricter regulations on fossil fuel industries and push for renewable energy adoption, the cost of energy has been steadily rising. This is particularly evident in regions where renewable infrastructure is not fully developed. Higher energy prices constrain households, businesses, and industries alike, leading to inflation and reduced economic growth. For example, families might find their utility bills skyrocketing, forcing them to cut back on other essential expenses. Businesses, especially small ones, may struggle to meet their operational costs, potentially leading to layoffs. Such economic pressures can slow down the overall growth of a nation's economy, making it harder for governments to justify the transition to renewable energy. 2. Job losses in fossil fuel industries. The transition away from fossil fuels poses a significant threat to jobs in traditional energy sectors such as coal, oil, and natural gas. Millions of people worldwide rely on these industries for their livelihoods. The loss of these jobs can contribute to economic instability, particularly in areas heavily dependent on fossil fuel extraction and production. Imagine a small town where the majority of the workforce is employed by a coal plant. The closure of that plant could lead to a surge in unemployment, affecting local businesses and services. This ripple effect can be devastating, not only for the community but also for the broader economy. 3. Supply chain vulnerabilities. The rapid shift to renewable energy sources often necessitates the development of new supply chains for materials like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth metals. These materials are crucial for making batteries and solar panels. However, the supply chains for these materials can be vulnerable to geopolitical tensions, price volatility, and resource scarcity. For instance, if a major supplier of lithium faces political unrest, it could lead to a global shortage. Such disruptions might harm global economies, leading to supply shortages and increased prices for renewable energy products. 4. Energy insecurity and dependence on imports. As countries phase out domestic fossil fuel production, they risk becoming more reliant on imported energy, especially in the short term. This dependency can expose economies to price fluctuations in international energy markets. For example, a minor geopolitical conflict in a major oil exporting country could lead to a spike in global oil prices. Nations dependent on these imports might find themselves facing higher costs, which can trickle down to consumers and businesses, exacerbating economic instability. 5. Slow transition and grid reliability issues. The shift to renewable energy is not always a seamless process. In some regions, the lack of reliable and widespread green energy infrastructure leads to energy shortages and grid failures. Without sufficient storage capacity and backup power systems, renewable energy sources may struggle to meet demand consistently. Imagine a large city experiencing frequent blackouts due to an over-reliance on solar energy during cloudy days. Such disruptions can jeopardize economic productivity, affecting everything from manufacturing to daily business operations. 6. Impact on manufacturing and industry. High energy costs and disruptions in energy supply can significantly affect manufacturing industries. These industries rely on affordable and reliable energy to maintain their operations. When energy prices soar or supply is inconsistent, manufacturing output can suffer. This can lead to supply chain disruptions and a loss of competitiveness in global markets. For instance, a car manufacturer might face delays in production due to energy shortages, affecting its ability to meet customer demands and compete with international rivals. 7. Carbon pricing and economic burden. Governments have implemented carbon pricing mechanisms like carbon taxes or cap-and-trade programs to curb emissions. While these measures aim to reduce carbon footprints, they also increase operating costs for businesses in energy-intensive sectors. These costs are often passed on to consumers, leading to inflationary pressures. Critics argue that such policies disproportionately affect low-income households and small businesses. For example, a family struggling to make ends meet might find their grocery bills increasing due to higher transportation costs passed down by suppliers. 8. Investment divestment and financial instability. As the financial world shifts away from fossil fuels, investors may pull funds from traditional energy sectors. This divestment could destabilize stock markets and pension funds. The loss of value in energy stocks could limit capital available for industries that still depend on fossil fuels. For instance, a pension fund heavily invested in oil stocks might see its value plummet, affecting retirees who depend on it for their livelihood. Such financial instability can have far-reaching consequences on the economy. 9. Potential for over-reliance on unproven technologies. The push for renewable energy could lead to an over-reliance on technologies like advanced nuclear power, hydrogen, and carbon capture. These technologies are still under development and face significant technical and economic hurdles. Depending too heavily on these unproven solutions might slow down the energy transition. For example, if a country invests heavily in carbon capture technology that fails to deliver, it could face economic setbacks and miss opportunities to adopt more viable renewable options. 10. Short-term versus long-term cost. Jamestown, located in the southwestern part of New York, is known for its strong winds and rugged landscapes. The city's residents have adapted by developing wind-resistant infrastructure, including reinforced bridges and buildings. Jamestown's wind has also influenced the design of its public spaces, with parks featuring windbreaks and sheltered seating areas. The city has embraced its windy identity by investing in renewable energy sources like wind turbines, reducing its carbon footprint and promoting sustainability. Jamestown's ability to adapt and thrive in the face of challenging weather is a testament to its resilience and innovation.